Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? Listen, before we get started, I need everybody to do me a favor. Can you hit that subscribe button because YouTube is saying that I need 500 subscribers and I got 107. So we need more subscribers. How about that? Especially for the two old grumpy men. Give it up for them two right now. Hello, how y'all doing? Yes. So welcome to Aging Gracefully 55 Plus. We are here live at Hub 13 West Front Street, Trenton, New Jersey. Woo, Jersey! And it's cold outside. I got my snow boots on. It snowed outside. The gentleman's still zipped up. You know, dog is zipped up. A little chilly. It's cold outside. Get old. But that's why we're called Aging Gracefully, because we go through different seasons, even within our bodies. You know? So right now, I'm in the season of, trying to make sure that I live and prosper and do certain things. So right now, I'm in training, so I'm learning how to crawl again. Because you crawl when you first a baby, and then when you get older, you need to go back to that crawling stage because that is how you keep your body flexible. You know, that's how when we learn how to walk, before we learn how to walk, we crawl to get where we had to go. You know, and then we're able to pull ourselves up. And the babies ain't never fall and hurt themselves. But that's what we got to get back to. So now I'm practicing that. Ooh, y'all, ooh, child. I'm not looking for right now, but hopefully I have. No, not right now. I'm probably not no pamper, but if I had to put one on, I'm gonna crawl with the pamper too. Don't tell me something. Stop. So if you're not crawling, learn how to crawl. Research it because it can save your life. Definitely. So welcome back to the show. So listen, everyone. We want to get our introduction started. Then we want to hear about our weekend. How did our weekend go? And some updates and just take the show from there. So gentlemen, please introduce yourselves as only you can from Aging Gracefully.
Start with Mr. You like it? Here we go. Parents, well, it's quality of life, and I'm going to cut right into my quality of life. I got my phone with me so I don't make any mistakes. I'm really on the ball this morning. Okay. You can't tell me nothing this morning. I'm just moving in the right direction. I want to throw a shout out to my granddaughter, Brielle Samuels. She has a master's degree in education. She now lives in Richmond, Virginia. And but what I want to point out is she's back here in town for Martin Luther King service weekend, and her itinerary for the today's Martin Luther King Day started actually on Friday, and I'm going to read what she sent to me when I asked Friday. Is Impact Ready Day, preparing the bags, the sandwiches, water, fruit, hygiene items, sorted donated clothes and supplies. Sunday yesterday was Reading Day, serving the less fortunate, the rescue mission, and also giving out bags and hot soup. Today they're out actually distributing food bags to the elderly and seniors in the senior building. So I'm going to say to her, Brielle, I'm extremely proud of you as your grandfather. Number two, I'm not going to leave out your cousins, which would be the Porter family, also the Samuels family, the Willis family, the Harrison family. All of us are interconnected, and to all of those that donated to Brielle, because I understand that my daughter's shop was just full of donations, so they didn't have a problem pulling this off. Yeah. To God be the glory, and the glory to be to you. All right. We want to thank Brielle and everyone else that participated because we cannot have enough help in our community all over, and especially with it being Martin Luther King birthday and the celebration. Listen, we don't want to forget. We don't want to forget the reason why the marches, the being up late, all of those different things that the people before us put out, the civil rights movement, all of those different things. We want to pay homage to that, and I am so grateful and thankful. Yes, and especially this is a continuation for her, and I just love her spirit because of the fact that this goes to show you come back home. You don't have to stay, but you come back home and see what home needs, and then you go on about your business.
Absolutely.
So
I love it.
I throw my hat out to you.
Love it. Thank you. Yes. All right, we got Mr. Alabama, our professional agitator.
My name is George Daniel. I'm a professional black agitator for black people. Uh, my job is to uplift black people.
Amen.
Do all I can to help them and could do all I can to correct them when they are wrong or disrespectful to black women. I am totally against that. But today I want to talk about Claudette Colbert. A lot of people don't know who Claudette Colbert is. In 1955, she was 15 years old. She got on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. She and another young lady. The bus driver, a white lady got on the bus and the bus driver got up and told her to move. She refused. There was a seat next to her, but the white lady didn't want to sit next to her. Her friend moved, but she didn't move. And of course that led to her being arrested in the whole 9 yards. But here's something that people say that right after that they had Rosa Parks that refused to get off the bus. Wait a minute now, before you get to Rosa Parks, and between Claudette Colbert, there was 3 other young people that refused to give up their seat on the bus. And here's something else that's being told is not true. They say that they used Rosa Parks to be the face of the civil rights movement because she was elderly and Claudette Colbert was pregnant. Well, if she was pregnant at the time, they didn't know it. They didn't know she was pregnant. And she played a giant role in the civil rights movement because there's a black attorney in Montgomery, Alabama named Fred Craig. He took on the case. That's where that Roe v. Wade and all that come in at. They took on that case. So we have to give thanks to Claudette Colbert for putting up the good fight and the other many blacks that refused to give up their seat. I know because I was one of them in Birmingham, Alabama. So I just want to make sure that the history books make it right and the people get it right.
Yeah. Oh my God. I applaud you. When I tell y'all, I'm just in awe to be a part of this panel, to be with you gentlemen, to know that this is real history. History right now, not in the books, but real conversation, real things. Like, because we get so caught up in telling stories and not telling the whole story, right? And Mr. Daniels, I applaud you for being able to stay 10 toes down, being able to talk about it. You know what I mean? Because we need to hear these stories, okay? Mr. Daniels is here every Sunday. We didn't have our show yesterday because it was a little snow outside. I told the gentleman, don't come out. You know what I mean? But they was ready to come out, like, no, don't come out. You know, even though I still came out, I didn't do the show, but we're here today. These gentlemen, they don't care what the weather is, what it is. They come out, and that's what we have to do, especially in 2026. We can't be hiding behind no lies, no facades. We got to tell the truth about what it really is. So today, that's what we're talking about. It's like no lies detected, like for real, no lies detected.
Well, I'd like to say this. It's 2026, and because of my retirement, I watch a lot of court TV shows. And I want to throw this out to all the mothers, the grandmothers. Stop defending these boys lying, knocking these girls up, having babies. If he did it, teach him to be man enough, say, I did it, and I'm going to take care of it. Actually, it's very embarrassing on TV to me. I'm like, you got to be kidding. And some of the explanations and the girls are grinning. You know something? You just as bad as that boy.
Yeah.
Because you know something? First of all, he knew he could do that to you, and you wouldn't say nothing. You know, if he thought that you were going to come to the place with him, you might not have had that boy. Okay, you might have dumped him before anything went down. But right now, the self-betrayal of how these young black men are portraying themselves. Okay, and this is with black judges on the TV, you know, and this is not made of real crocodile tears, the whole 9 yards. I find it very interesting. If you did it, no different than anybody. You don't have to marry them, Okay? But take care of these babies.
Yeah.
And be a part of their life, co-parent with these young ladies and their families. And don't worry about what Aunt Lucy said, because you know something? Look at Aunt Lucy's history. She might not be all that either. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, you threw it out there. You threw it out there. And the thing is, it even goes way before they even start to the dating. You know, you need to start saying to kids, you know, especially the young men, I want you to be someone's husband, not no one's boyfriend, someone's husband. The little girl, honey, you're gonna be someone's wife. You know what I mean? So you gotta start planting those seeds at an early age. And sometimes we don't get an opportunity to because we be so busy being distracted. There's so many things right now that are distracting people from even the most simplest thing as to say to your child, get up in the morning, brush your teeth, make up your bed, say your prayers. Because no, we got up in the morning before we brush our teeth, we're on social media to see what someone else is doing. So a lot of times we get caught out there. But in 2026, I promise you, if you just spend a little bit more time with yourself, you'll be surprised of what happens.
Absolutely. Actually, I think you forgot yourself.
I think so.
Now, I don't look at social media. I'm not into it, but you know, if you can't help but hear about it, and you know something, you could just be that lost, and you got so many issues of your own. Deal with yourself because you know something, that's a full-time job.
Yeah. But guess what though? We're in a society right now where it's easier for me to not look at me and look at you. That's what people are doing right now. So if they don't look at themselves, they can't judge themselves. They so judgmental by judging someone else. See, that's why when we decided that we didn't want to put God first, we became so judgmental. You know what I'm saying? When we said, "Oh God, we don't need God in school. We don't need prayer. We don't need none of that." So when people got so bold and say, "Well, we don't need none of that," this is what you get.
Yeah, well, that started at the pulpit too, because you mimic what you see. Now, today is Super Bowl. We're gonna be out of here by quarter to one.
They even rushing you out.
Cut God's time down and this, that, that. But I just want to say this: if you have that much advice to tell you something on social media, what about yourself? You don't use the same advice for yourself?
Well, let me ask Mr. Daniels something. Right now, there was a young man, he's a comedian, his name is Yorsky. I don't know if anyone's seen it or not. But he did a skit about mega churches. It didn't really say mega churches, but just churches in general about thinking about about, you know, the different things that they do in church, how they ask for money, and, you know, how they dressing real fancy, and, you know, like they had, you know, be asking for a penny. We go to the church and say, "This is my life, so I have to get all my God and paying my tithes. Can you help me out?" And the church tell you they ain't got no money, they turn you away, right? So now you got the pastors mad because they feel like they've been exposed. No, baby, you've been exposed. You've been exposed when you stop coming into the community and getting other people. Now, I haven't seen no one do this since Pastor Ravenel's wife back in the day. She used to walk through North Trenton and knock on people's doors and ask for people's kids and take them to church. I couldn't believe I gave a total stranger my children.
Well, you know something,
and she blessed my kids.
It's a different type of male and female out here now. Okay? Now, you talking about grassroots, and you know, this is probably how she was raised, you know what I mean? And you know something, it's stop hollering I'm a Christian, because you know something, you're just a work in progress. And we all are work in progress, and we stay a work in progress until we shut our eyes. And if we make it to heaven, we better say thank you, Jesus, when we get there. There ain't nobody perfect.
So what do you think about this church thing going on here?
Me, I gave up on the church. Now, let me explain this to you, because I don't want anybody to misunderstand it. I love the church. I grew up in the church. On Easter, I used to be on the Easter program. On Christmas, I used to be on I love the church. I love gospel music. And I used to love, there was this lady named Miss Molly Gray. Seemed like she knew every gospel singer in the world. And she used to bring them to Birmingham to them different churches. So I got to meet a lot of those old gospel singers back in the day. And they would come and stay in the community because the motels and hotels were segregated. We had some black motels and hotels, like the A.G. Gaston Motel. That's where the majority of them stayed. Or they stayed in different people's houses, you know, like that.
Yeah.
And they used to come through the community. They didn't have no bodyguards. They didn't have no bodyguards and all that. They just walked through the neighborhood. My grandmama, Miss Miller, she she knew all the gospel singers, the blues singers, because not too far from her house they had a big nightclub called the Grand Terrace Ballroom. And all the entertainers used to come, B.B. King, Bobby Blue. We got to meet all of them a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time. James Brown, Little Richard, Little Willie John, they all came to the Grand Terrace Ballroom. Of course, now what happened was, the church was a big part of the community. The preachers in the church, like we'd be up on the field playing baseball or basketball or whatever, they would come up there and participate.
Okay.
And we had a lot of preachers used to say, listen, when you see me coming, don't think I'm coming to preach. I preach on Sunday.
Yeah.
So we can talk about anything. You know, we would just talk about life
Yeah,
itself.
I love that.
And the church looked out for the people. Say Mama Rock Church had a picnic, everybody in my neighborhood was at that picnic. Or another church. And then people needed something, they used to go and make sure that certain people had groceries because some people were scuffing, but there was nobody hungry. And all that came through the people working in the church.
Yeah.
Now the church used to be a wonderful thing, but now they beg too much of me.
Yeah.
And they lie too much of me. When you hear, I heard a preacher say a long time ago that God told him to raise $8 million. If he didn't raise $8 million, God was going to call him home. You know what I said? Please, don't nobody give him that $8 million. Please, I want to see these lines. Please, don't give him that $8 million. But one man gave him that $8 million. He said, I don't believe it. I don't believe it, but I'll give him $8 million.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to come to today. That was a white preacher. Now I heard a black preacher say the other day, God told me to tell 10 people, 20 people, to give $1,000, and He's going to bless you abundantly. You're going to have millions of dollars for this thousands of dollars. So my thing was, give them that 20,000. I want to see if He's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because I don't think God moved like that. I don't think God got time to worry about somebody having $1 million. Because all the people I see with all this money, I never hear them even thank God.
Yeah.
I only hear working people thank God.
Special gift.
So this is why I gave up on it. They beg too much, and you don't see, all you see is the money going in the church, but you don't see it coming out of the church. I'm not knocking the church. Then there's too many things that go on in the church that I don't like, that I never saw in the church before. So in the music that they play, I really contemporary gospel. I'm not against it, I'm just not for it. I don't like contemporary gospel.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't tell anybody else not to like it, but I don't like it.
Some of the words, if you're a word person, you know, I like that old-fashioned beat like you. You know what I mean? That real gospel.
Yeah, but I just
When
sometimes
you listen to some of the words or just contemporary.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
because they mixing the contemporary with the gospel, so I get confused sometimes.
But you got to try to sit there and try to pick it out.
Is it worldly or gospel?
No. I'm talking about the ones that say.
But when they sing peace, be still, you know what they sing.
Oh yeah.
But when you mixing a
God
worldly
is, you know what they sing. So this is what I like. Move on up a little higher. That's my kind of gospel music. So now, the people that like gospel music, like contemporary, hey, God bless you. Go ahead. Go, that's your thing. But me, I like that old time
rain in the water.
That's what I like.
I just want to know how the dance changed in the church. You know, when you used to do the holy dance, it wasn't like nothing like you did at the nightclub. Now they're doing, and that whatever they doing now, they must be.
They practice.
They must be.
They take this. You hear the preacher talking about the world. Well, all he got to do is look at his congregation. He see the world sitting in the church. All he got to do is sit in the congregation. You got people in there that's trying to look like this entertainer, that entertainer. People used to didn't do that. People used to didn't do that.
Well, you know, I don't know if y'all know the rapper T.I. He just did a segment where he talked about the pastor. He went to the church and I was trying. He went to the church. He said the church reminded him of a nightclub. Yeah, yeah. I was trying to get him to open before you rang the doorbell because we live. How y'all doing? Yeah. Hello.
The only thing missing is the hymn.
Yeah, right. Hello. Yeah, so so the churches is definitely taking over a different dynamic. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different worldly things that are happening inside of the church. So I think sometimes it's keeping a lot of people from going. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people feel like, I don't know
If they're going, I agree with you. When I go to church, it's to receive and get and understand the spirit you want to see that my personal relationship with God is on the right track. If you don't have a personal relationship, you sit up there and choose number 64 all you want. That don't mean you're going to heaven. But at least I'm trying with a personal relationship.
But when you go to church, every Sunday that you go to church, or whatever you have service, that preacher's supposed to hit you right upside the head.
Yeah.
Every time you go in church, he's supposed to tell you something, to wake up something in you. But now they too busy talking about each other. You know, talking about this preacher, why they're too busy talking about each other. And to me, if they all know each other, call each other on the phone. It makes it seem like, how you gonna be my leader when you can't get along with other leaders?
Yeah.
How you gonna be that? Yeah, and here's something else. And here's one thing. This is the one thing that I really don't understand about the church. Why a preacher got to have a church in New York and Chicago
And Atlanta.
Why?
And California.
Why? You can't be in one place at a time.
And actually, they are just one place at one time.
They are.
We're the newest money is.
Yeah.
Now I got you settled over there. You worth 50,000. You worth 75,000. Now I go on the street.
Yeah, and let me be honest with you. And we're not saying that as a pastor or a person, you're not allowed to, I guess enhance yourself. You know, what I mean, whatever you want to do. I think some of them do it. It's a little bit extreme because now you're leaving behind your foundation.
With that money, have you enriched your church? Have you enriched your church members out of your pocket? Or how much of that collection is going to you?
And to
do you have an advisory board? Do you have a deacon board? Or are you the only one running the show? You sound like Trump.
Well, guess what? If people leave, it's going to be an empty building.
But here's something else that really puzzles me. You got the preachers, they get on television and say, this lady's dress is too short. The men's pants is too tight. Why he just can't have a lady to tell a lady that her dress is too short? That sounds like a lady's job.
Yeah.
And he's talking about
ladies would do that.
Right.
They did. They put a little clock over you.
When I was growing up, the lady went to church with a short skirt on. When she sit down, she was already covered up. Because they were snapping. They always wanted to cover up. And
I think they had a committee.
Just right. Usher somebody. I used to be an usher. I'm trying to tell you.
I love the church, but I just don't like the direction it's going in. I don't knock it. You know, they do their thing. I don't knock it. I just don't go.
So in other words, what you're saying too, all at the same time too, is you're not getting out of the church what you came here for.
No, I want to hear the word of God.
You wanted the tongue lashing.
I don't want to hear
about.
I don't want to hear about some gay couple. That's none of my business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's their business. That's between them and God.
Yeah.
That's between them and God. And if the preacher's not preaching out the Bible, what is that for him to talk about? Unless he's talking about building houses. What have we as a people, us black people, what have we in this city of Trenton, along with the churches, and the people that go in the church, and the people, leaders in the church, what have we gotten together to build for black people? Nothing.
One church. No, one church.
Which one?
Mount Zion.
No, I'm not talking about church.
Properties that they built, and they're renting out. They don't pay.
That just started.
That
just happened. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So somebody's
that's before you get to the firehouse. That's Mount Zion's problem. When you go back behind those properties, you on Allen Street, there are apartments back there that they built from the ground. And obviously, all depends on who's the home there. They had a guy that was the minister at St. Paul, I mean at St. Mount Zion, who used to be in with the mafia, and he turned minister. So he knew how to reach out and get these sources. And you know, it's all about writing the grant and who you know and where the donations come from.
But here's something else.
But you're right about the rest of the churches. No.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. We as black people, we depend on the government too much and we get nothing from the government. What does the government give to the black community? You would think that black people don't pay taxes. They think about everybody to give money to. They give more money to foreign governments than they do to black people. See, I'm talking about black people because I'm black. I don't know about the other people. I grew up in an all-black neighborhood. So I went to an all-black school. And that's how I live. So I don't want to talk about black people because this is what I know. And I do know what white people is doing to black people because they were doing it to me and all the rest of them. But we was white. But what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. You say one church did that, that was one. I'm talking about collectively. Collectively.
Oh,
Got together and say, well, listen, we're not going to build this in the church now. We're not going to build this in the church now. We're not going to use church funds. We're not going to use church funds. What we're going to do, we're going to raise the money from the congregation. We're going to raise the money and we're going to build this. You take, they don't even have a community center where blacks can go.
Well, because let me say this. So many times they had the building fund. We never see the building. And so every church got a building fund. But we ain't seen the building yet.
For all the churches, I agree. But for some,
you tell me you got a building fund, I'm not
on Union, where the nursing home used to be. Union used to have a nursing home. Right where the side parking lot is now on Fraser Street. That used to be a nursing home. At the time that they did this under Reverend Tibbs, okay, who was a business type of minister, we didn't do the nursing home thing because first of all, we didn't have that kind of insurance and the cost of it. They had 2 people in the nursing home. So eventually they had to, close down, of course, and then they tore it down. And that's where the old Downing house, Al Downing, the baseball player,
right?
That's where their family home was in that side.
Yeah.
So that parking lot has history.
Oh wow.
And but it was a shame. But see now they would be over flooded because you got Medicaid, you got Medicare, you got all this going. But
it's shut down too soon. You gotta wait it out. You gotta wait it out.
But what I'm saying is this. See, we got too many black millionaires. Too many black billionaires. And there's no progress. That you see all these guys get on television and talk about it. Tell you what the problem is. They tell you what the problem is. But what I'm saying is, the leadership never say, listen, this is what we're going to do.
Tina.
We're going to get Reverend so-and-so and 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 Reverend so-and-so. And we're going to have a meeting. We're going to invite the men and ladies from the church. But this is not about church. This is not about church. This is about people in the church getting together to build their neighborhood. So this way, you can't say we use the church for it. We're just providing the leadership.
With that being said,
we use the church fund. So that's one less homeless person that's in that church house that would have been out there on that home.
Yeah, but that's what this is for. That's what this is for.
Well, they put them all
because
together.
Because we want it to be collective. So that way you can't say, well, we can only give Mary a church, or we can only give Willie a church. But if we do it like that, collectively. Then all inclusive.
I see why I don't go to church.
All inclusive.
That's all a hot now.
So this is what I'm talking about. See, we can do better than we'll do.
Absolutely.
Let me bring in our next guest because it's going to segue into what we're talking about right now. So please welcome Ms. Tina Crawford to the couch, y'all. Thank you for being here. Ms. Tina works with credit, finances, and things of that nature. A lot of the times we can't do anything in our community because our finances are wrong.
our money. We don't know how to put our money away. We're trying to save and we owe people. You know what I mean? We can't do it at the same time. So there's a lot of different variables that go into that. This is why I asked the sister to come be a part of the show today, so she could talk about the finances because listen, it's 2026, it's the beginning of the year, and people need to know about their finances. So please introduce yourself as only you can, and welcome to the show. Thank you, Miss Yolanda. Welcome everybody. My name is Tina Crawford, and I am a certified wealth educator. And I love helping people understand their finances, their credit, and teaching them through financial literacy education. I even learned through my own situation, having once getting sick, and after 20 years of working, long story short, my employer basically had me see their doctor, and after he submitted his report, they told me that I had 2 weeks to make a decision, quit or retire. Now, with that situation, you don't plan to get sick, you don't plan to lose your job. So I learned very quick and very hard that I needed to learn about using my finances very differently. I did not have a savings. I had children, I had bills, I had a mortgage, I had a car note, and guess what? The bills did not care that I was losing my job. So I came into an organization that helped me understand my credit and the reason why I didn't have a savings and learned that financial literacy or the lack of the financial literacy education was why I found myself plummeting into a financial hole because we don't budget. And this is why I am in the situation I am in now, helping people understand why, first and foremost, not having a budget is why we're in the crisis that we're in now. Most families are in the crisis situation that you're in now. So I thank you, Yolanda, for having me on today. And the services that I do provide now from the organization that helped me understand and get out of the hole that I was in back then, we are a credit restoration organization, which is different from credit repair because of the number of services that we provide, including budgeting, because you can't do what you don't look at, what you can't see. You get paid on Friday and you're broke by Friday because we don't set out a plan of what you bring in and then what's going out. And oftentimes, even when you plan, you work so hard to pay bills and you think that's all that there is to life. You should be able to enjoy life. So the services that we provide include helping you to understand your credit, helping you to plan better, helping you to spend wisely, and we provide again additional services that include credit restoration, and it also includes a budgeting tool, a savings tool, and even helps you to pay your debt faster without needing additional income. Yes, it is possible. And then you actually can live your life a little bit better, a lot happier, and healthier. We even provide services that help you teach your children how to live better financially, how to make better financial decisions. So, with that being said, Yolanda, are there any questions that I can actually answer?
No, because you did such a good job. You got a question? Go ahead.
Now, talk to us.
Yeah, talk to
into
us.
the discipline of creating and staying on your budget. Break down budget, what it means, how how you have to discipline yourself. There's got to be something to it. Bring us up to par.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, so with budgeting.
Tina, talk to us.
Yes,
Please,
thank you.
us.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, when it comes to budgeting, you have to take a look at what you're bringing home, whether it's monthly, bi-weekly, or even weekly. Whatever your net income is, because of course, people have jobs and the government is going to take what they want first. then you have your health care, everything that comes out. So you have to take what you're already bringing in home. So you need to write it out. You need to be able to look at what your figures are and look at what your debt is, write that down. And what I do is I set my calendar up in my phone and I set it up to weekly to have it so I can see, oh, that's right, it's a reminder that this is what's coming out next week, and I set it up for the day before, and then all my debt, they also send reminders, so you can actually set it up that way, and it's also good to when they actually send you reminders, to have them send you reminders. But one of the things that we also with my company is that you can actually have it come out automatically. So you can actually have
I just have a thing about no, I'm responsible enough to bring you your money. Don't
yes,
take my
sir.
money on auto pay and all like that. And I also think that's how your information gets out there too.
And you do have to be careful, which is one of the good things that our company also provides identity monitoring, up to $1 million in security protection. And it even goes as far as protecting your information even on social media sites. Because that's a lot of what we do today. Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn. And all the YouTube, so it actually also provides social media protection. And again, it's up to $1 million, for those of us who are on social media sites. But again, and that's just an option, for those who are busy. A lot of us have busy lives. We have children, and children are participating in sports, maybe, and other activities. You do have single parents and even married couples, who have busy lives. Some people work more than one job, and things like that, or have careers and, trades and businesses, which is another thing that my company offers. We offer business funding, even up to $10 million, depending on, your situation. And it's not like a bank, but when you do apply for the business funding, you're assigned a personal agent that will, based on what you're looking for, that will guide you through the loan process. Yes, sir.
Explain to us the whole system on credit score. Now, how do you get 640, 720, 880? How are these numbers, and who decides who's going to give you that number?
That's a very good question,
The
sir.
basis of a credit score.
That's a very good question. And thanks for asking that.
You're welcome.
Because that's another thing that we enjoy doing, educating people. That is at the foundation of what we do. Because folks really need this knowledge, especially today. Now, your credit score is actually calculated on 5 different factors. The first one is 35%, and that's based on paying your bills on time. Okay, paying your bills on time, 35%. Now, 30% is based on your basically your credit limits. So we basically say you need to keep that at 30%. For example, you have a credit card limit of $1,000. Each month, please don't spend more than $300. And if you do, make sure you maintain your balances under $300. Don't be spending what you don't have. Please, please be wise. Do not spend what you don't have. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that's what I grew up with. Stop trying to impress others. Impress yourself and your kids. Be that example. Lead by example.
How much emergency fund should you have?
And that's another good question, because that's another thing that we teach people. Because unfortunately, it is so hard for a lot of people to save, and a lot of that has to do with your spending habits. You need to be able to save and have an emergency fund.
Now, when I say emergency fund, I'm talking about your cash on hand. Not the
Yes,
credit
sir.
card, not this, not that.
And that's exactly it. It is exactly your cash on hand. Now, even when I grew up, yes, we had some of our ancestors putting money under the mattress. That's what cash on hand actually meant. Not in the bank.
Well, they did that because of the 29 crash. In other words, I'm not going to get caught, and I don't blame them.
Yes,
You know?
sir.
So it was a lesson in 1929 that was a hard lesson, especially for us.
Yes, sir.
Do you
Yes,
know?
sir.
Do you know that habit is what saved General Motors?
Okay.
You know that did.
See, go.
With black people put their money on the pillow, on the mattress, Cadillac sales was way down. They used to even sell. I'm telling you, they used to wouldn't even sell Cadillacs to black people.
Okay.
So now they look up and they hire black people because they to sell Cadillacs because they know that black people got cash money because they didn't put it in the bank. That is how they saved Cadillacs, and that's how a lot of blacks got jobs with General Motors or whatever the company was named at that time. Yeah, that is what saved them. See, black people have done some wonderful things. That's why I get so angry when we would degrade our people because we don't know our people.
That's true.
We don't put our money
I'll tell you
together,
another
put it in the
quick
right
story
place.
about General Motors. It was up here in Ewing Township. It's apartments now. There was a lady named, what's her name? Lived her husband worked for the housing authority, and she lived in the Abbottsville. I can't think of her last name now.
She was in Abbeville?
She did. She died at 100 years old. Well, at any rate.
Oh, the light skinned lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah.
The story is this. She was telling me.
I know who you're talking about.
You know the one? She was telling me that during World War II, they hired everybody at General Motors up here on Parkway Avenue to make those planes and blah, 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 whatever. When the war was over, all the white employees there said, you get rid of these niggas right now. And people like her, this Hedgepath, and a couple other prominent black families, they worked at General Motors during World War II. Those ladies got out there and picking it until they maintained their job. And that's how black people steadily were hired, and even for long term, you're getting their pensions and stuff from General Motors.
If they go by her, she actually paid the
we
tree
ride
out
Chevrolets, Oldsmobiles, and Cadillacs and everything else. We got the thing. But what we buy, who we buy from.
Yeah. But outside the Abbott building, there's a tree. She planted that. She doesn't look great. Because back then she said it wasn't a lot of greenery or anything around there. But they planted trees, so now these trees, like you said, she's 100, these trees are now really getting big. But if you go in front of the Abbott building to the little garden right there, there's that tree that she planted. I met her through you from hanging over there.
Audrey, I can't think of her name.
Yes.
Who was Audrey's last name? Audrey. Audrey Goodman. I heard you. But she really added a lot of history, and she named those that were out there with her, that worked in General. The war's over, the hell with y'all. Like, you get your black asses on about it.
They didn't only do that there. What happened was, all the big factories, they turned them into producing war machines. So all the men was going off to war. So this left the young people and women. That's why so many women went to work in those factories. Then, after the war was over, then they started laying them off and firing them and getting rid of them. But right after that, the Korean conflict started. So now they had to go back to doing the same thing. And then they decided, I guess they said, well, we're going to do half rewrite. They ain't going to never do right. We're going to do half rewrite and keep more people this time. But everything that has happened in this country to make this be a good country, black people have been at the forefront of it. Everything. I don't care what they name. There's a black person at the forefront of it. They might tell you Uncle Charlie didn't do this, Uncle Charlie, yes, Uncle Charlie did, and Aunt Mary did too. So that's how they went along.
But how about the man with the meat called tenderism? The man that came up with the meat, he done got this little barbecue going for the people, right? So everybody thinking that this man owned this restaurant because he's doing these videos saying, hey, come and get this meat, this tenderism, and just wiggle it and it fall off the level, right? So everybody was going, to try this meat. So the young man went to give the man a $4,000 tip for this meat. Then they come the white people from behind the curtain. Where did he come from? The white man, this is my store. And turned around and went and had the word tenderism. So now the man, and took the man to the airport with a little suitcase and then dropped off at the airport. I'm looking at it, I'm like, is this IA? Is this real? Because like I said, we can do so much. We are so loyal to people who aren't loyal to us. And guess what though? Even black people do the same thing. So it's not just other races that do it. We are good at doing it to ourselves and also.
Because we will pull ourselves together and have the very thing that we were. When I worked, okay, I might have wanted to do, you taught me this, that, and the other. You better believe I had my own capability. Okay? I went to punch your clock for Blue Cross Blue Shield because I didn't want to pay it. All right? But other than that, money was when you work for yourself. Okay? Yeah. This is what we're not doing. If you teach me all your trade, you mean to tell me if I got to start in the garage, I'm going to duplicate with you. If you can make money at it, I can make money at it too. And as a kid, I tell everybody, man, I'm white boy trained.
Listen,
the soul came out the food,
okay?
but the presentation, and stuff, white boys taught me that. Well, just throw a flower there, do this, do it. White boys taught me that. So if you can make money, my hand was up to people wanting to do this thing too.
Listen, I don't know. We've been on here for a long time, y'all. Tina, introduce yourself one last time before I let you go. Take some contact information, please.
Yes. Again, my name is Tina Crawford. I'm your certified wealth educator. I can be reached at area code 267-560-7657. And I am on social media platforms Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and what's that board?
I don't do all that. Right here, YouTube. Find her here.
Yes. You can also find me down here at Hub 13. I really appreciate you, Miss Yolanda. I really, really appreciate you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. Well, we're going to have you back again. Because finances, we can talk about that all the time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, she's here every Sunday.
I don't know why you don't give us 2 minutes every Sunday.
Because she ain't gonna give us 2 minutes, she'll give us 20. No, we don't have that much.
Huh?
No.
Say that again?
She's her own show. She's her own segment. Because finances is more than 2 minutes.
Well, I need you for 2 minutes.
No, because
I'm sitting there looking at you over there on Sunday. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I mean, the majority rules here, but I'm throwing it out there.
No, I want her to come on to get her own show. Because finances is very important. We can give you a set, we give you a portion of it, but to go deep dive into it, the questions he was asking, that is a whole segment. And you need that because it's 2026. And people need to know there's content creators creating stuff all the time. Why can't you create one for finances? Yeah. Don't even think back on nobody else. Do your own, girl. Because guess what? People need you. They truly do. Show them your shirt, baby. It's advertising.
The more they learn about them.
Yes. Bad credit. We can help.
That's right.
Financial literacy.
So we can be back again. We love y'all. Hit that button.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, we got to give honor to the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes, we do. We talked about him earlier, but we're going to pay real homage to somebody else.
This is all I want to say. To all you people out there that talk about Dr. King wasn't this, Dr. King wasn't that, Dr. As far as I'm concerned, me, George Daniels from Birmingham, Alabama, as far as I'm concerned, Dr. King can walk on water. Because if you don't be for Dr. King, you will still be on the back of the bus. You wouldn't have the Voting Rights Act. You wouldn't have any civil rights bill passed by Johnson because there was nobody else that could have got no bill passed but Dr. King and the people that followed him. Because when Dr. King first came to Birmingham, he was the most hated man in America by blacks and whites. By blacks and whites. that Reverend Dr. Fred Shuttlesworth was the one that brought Dr. King to Birmingham. And he said, and then when Dr. King got to Birmingham, they test me, you see, where they put the water hose on the little kids and all that went on. But Dr. King, they stabbed him and had a lady that stabbed him. They murdered him. They put him in the Birmingham jail. And he still kept fighting for black people. For all you people out there that got something to say negative about Dr. King, bring it to me.
Thank you. I love you for that. Happy birthday, Dr. King. Like he said, when before he died, he said, if something happened to me, don't take no civil service job, and they just took him all. And they took him all the jobs, and everybody got quiet.
They told him, don't work for no corporation. Don't work for no television, don't work, because once you do that, you're not effective civil rights leader because you are controlled. So all I'm talking about Dr. King taking money, they got the wrong man.
No
Dr.
lies
King,
to take.
when it comes time to pay his income tax, most of the time he had to borrow money from his daddy. They don't know the real Dr. Martin Luther King.
They don't.
They just saw what he was modeling.
Yeah.
They don't know. They just don't know.
How old were you?
When Dr. King walked into a room, you knew it. You knew it. I don't care how many people was in that room. When he walked in that room, you knew because something come over you.
Yeah.
The doctor has come in.
Oh, the doctor has come
I want to put it anytime, anywhere. And him and Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth.
He was a little boy in the set. I was a teenager. Oh, March on Princeton, March on Trenton, March on Wilmington. We used to go to all these marches. The worst town in this area was Princeton.
When they brought Dr. King to Birmingham, and he was arguing with the preachers, the black ones and the white ones, they was telling him, not now. You got to wait a little while. And Dr. King said, well, why we got to wait? Now is the time because I'm here. Yeah. If I hadn't came here, then none of this would change. What he was telling the black preachers was you didn't do your job. They had Fred Shuttlesworth, the one that spearheaded all that. But nobody gave credit to the Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth. Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth came to Trenton, New Jersey one time, but they said that they brought him here on a false pretense. They told him that they were denying people the right to vote, so that brought him to Trenton. Yeah. But then after he got here, they told him that Harry Belafonte was going to be on the podium with Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth, and they was here for gang violence. And this is what Fred Shuttlesworth said: if you got a gang problem, the community is supposed to straighten that out. That's what that Friendship Baptist Church.
Yeah. All right, we get ready to wrap this up. They said on top of the camera, y'all get ready to stop real quick. So listen, it's Dr. King's birthday. I want everybody to just be mindful of that. Love yourself. It's 2026. Be mindful of all of that. Don't take no wooden nickels. That's all I got to say. You can't change that.